What's up everyone, David here, welcome back to MixPlus.tv. Wes Audio does it again. Another release, another unit, another hit. This time is the Ng78. Two channels of one of their best sounding, most popular units, the Ng76, an 1176 style compressor with so many extra features. In a 2-unit box, 100% analog signal path, digitally controlled, but they didn't just stop at a stereo 76. No, in fact, the Ng78 sees an extra 2 ratio for a more musical compression and an extended control over the attack time, now up to 20 milliseconds to give it that snap that we like. Saturation mode, extended sidechain, Korn transformer, and more. In this video, Wes Audio Ng78. Let's go. Before we start, check the info box down below for free plugin special discounts and offers, and of course a link to the Wes Audio Ng78. If you want to book mixing and mastering with me, go to the website mixplustv.com. In there you can also find all the mix and mastering courses, and if you want to access the exclusive in-depth mix and mastering videos here on YouTube, click the join button, become a MixPlus.tv member, get all the perks, and if you want to support the channel, please consider using the super thanks or grab some merch. Let's go. All right, here's the physical unit in front of us as usual, built like a tank, slick look. Everything is top-notch quality. Every knob is a touch-sensitive encoder as all the other Wes Audio unit. That means that when you touch them, you can see the light becomes brighter, and the unit recognizes that I'm touching and it's ready to write for automation. With the plugin interface, we're gonna see that later. From left to right, we have input, output, mix knob, attack, release, A/B button to compare settings on the fly right there on the unit. Then we have extended sidechain. This is one of my favorite features of the Ng76 and the 78, is one of the things that makes this compressor so versatile. We have an HPF filter, 60, 90, and 150, so we remove the low end from the detector, but we can also push the mid-range and the top end with a shelved 2K, 5K, 10K. This can make the compressor react more to S's or hard consonants, or generally speaking to the mid-range at the top end of any material you run into it. Then we have 3 settings for the THD, the built-in saturation. We have bypass, of course, so no extra saturation added, low, mid, and high. We can link or unlink the sidechain, so the detector, so it can operate as a true stereo. We have a bypass button which turns off the VU meter right here. And then our ratio, like I said in the intro, we have an extra ratio. We have 2, 4, 8, 12, and 20, and of course all button mode and any actually combination of push button right here. And of course having 2 ratio makes this even more versatile, more musical, softer, more moderate compression. The mix is suitable for even ballad vocals or full mixes. On top of the vintage style gain reduction meters right here, we also have an input and output LED meter on the left and the right to check our levels. But one of everybody's favorite features about this unit is the saturation mode. Of course, you can activate it in 2 ways. Press hold the THD button or just press the input button and you can see the unit VU meters turn red. And now our input is the drive and our output is the trim, and we can still retain the mix knob. So we can drive the saturation as much as we want and then mix it with the dry signal. We press back the input and the unit goes back into compression mode. Of course, we have a plugin interface that controls the unit. They communicate 2 ways. So I touch the unit, the plugin follows. I touch the plugin, unit follows. We can write automation, we can save presets, everything that you can do with a plugin, just pure 100% analog signal path. This is the plugin this is the plugin interface, and I don't know why I just noticed this, but I just noticed this. I don't know why I didn't see it before. Look at this. Look at this. My plugin interface has MixPlus.tv for David, and this is freaking awesome. Thank you so much to everybody at Wes Audio. I am dumb because I didn't see it before. This is so freaking awesome, and that makes me the happiest ever. Without further ado, this is the plugin interface. It mirrors exactly the hardware. So we have input, output, mix knob. One cool thing that the plugin interface has is this wheel here that links the input and output, so you can drag this and they automatically compensate. Attack, release. We have the sidechain that shows you the curve that you are applying to the sidechain. And of course, low, mid, and high for the THD, Saturation mode, again, mirrors the unit, becomes red. Our ratios, if toggle is engaged, when you press one ratio, it automatically deselects the others. If toggle is not engaged, you can do any combination of the push button. Of course, you have an all mode right here. And without further ado, again, let's hear how it sounds. And of course, we start with drums. Besides the fact that the carding transformers sound amazing, a lot of weight, a lot of character, love the West Audio version and interpretation of the 76, but you can hear with this one, what I did with the attack went all the way fast and then slow, so you can hear the extra range, we can say, up to 20 milliseconds attack to get that snap, because the 1176, even the slowest attack, is still very, very fast in the original design. This one makes it so much more versatile, especially for vocals, but also for drums, because you want to get that snap a slower attack time. And this alone, for me, is a game changer. At the same time, you get the same super fast attack, smashing, almost limiter sound that we get from the 1176 if you want, with the attack all the way fast. And of course, we also have the mix knob, so if we can smash this drum like really hard, like even, we're gonna do all button mode, we do 20 or 12 ratio now. And we got it breathing like this. Then we can inject the dry signal with it. All right, and just add a little bit of density. Now, this is a cool trick that I'm gonna show you. If you start with the attack all the way fast, with the mix knob, you can start lowering the attack time and use this to add snap to the drums. Check this out. Okay, and you can do something like this. You can copy this settings and then paste it on the B settings and then change the attack and see which one you like the best. Okay, I'm gonna do another, I'm gonna copy this and then paste it on C and do all button mode instead and just play with the attack. Okay, that's the beauty of digitally controlled analog. And of course, AB, you have it on the front of the unit, but if you want to do something like this, we got 3 banks and you can do 3 variations of the sound and just cycle through them and decide which style, which settings goes for that given track. It's priceless. At this point in time, West Audio dictated how analog gear needs to be for the foreseeable future. because this really is the best of both worlds, having full analog path, digitally controlled. The beauty of the Ng78, as opposed to, I want to say, the Ng76 or a pair of 76s, because of the added ratio, something that I would not think of doing is using a pair of 76s on a full mix. Although there's probably nothing wrong with it, it's not my first choice. It wouldn't be where I go by default, right? But this one is a whole different thing. In fact, I'm gonna try it right there on a mix, and we're gonna try a couple of different things. For example, earlier I said this could be used almost like a brick wall limiter. This is so fast. So if we try ratio 2 and all the way fast attack on a mix and see what happens.
Heal me. I've never felt this way. Touch me. You're not to blame. I crave you as I never did before. Hold you on the floor. The things I buried under sand are gone with the touch of your hand.
See, that's why the 2 ratio is so important for something like this. Given the same settings, 4 ratio would be way too much, but 2 is perfect. Like, it adds a little bit of flavor, it adds a little bit of character. You can be precise enough with this to shave off some transient on a track. There's a trick on stop and go electric guitars that I used to do with a 2500, but this is so much better. And the trick involves having a slow attack. So again, I could not do it if I didn't have this extra range right here. I use this when I have syncopated guitars with silences in the riff, so think industrial or metalcore, like these guitars, to enhance the attack and make it feel like they hit harder. Check this out. This part without. With it. So every time there's a silence and the guitars come back, it snaps even harder. Love this thing for that. Amazing how much it brings density to the synth and all the detail and just makes it richer. And I'm slamming it, granted that I'm using a mix knob, but it's so, this unit is so forgiving. That's one thing that I noticed with the, again, I stress this because I love this so much that it has extended range on the attack. It makes it so forgiving. The transfer curve, the Korn transformers makes it so musical. And I love the THD. I said this pretty much on every review that I've done for any Wes Audio product. Their THD is such a magic touch. It goes well pretty much on everything. All their units I have, every time I put one of their units on a track, my THD is on. Let's check out saturation mode on a couple of things. Let's start with this drum loop. We click set mode or press the input button on the unit. Everything turns red, and you can see that here we have a sweet spot marking right here on the input. That tells you where the sweet spot is for the signal hitting the unit. But it's just an ideal range because of course you can overdo the saturation or do it too little where you don't really get the sound. You just play it by ear. So this is without. All right, I'm on the verge of the breaking point. Let you hear the style of saturation, the type of saturation. It's warm and fuzzy, and it's very, very rich. Depending on what you want to do, this will add weight to your material in a very subtle way, or if you push it, you get to the verge of distortion. You can even go full-blown distortion and then use the mix knob. Okay, you notice it kinda works as a clipper depending on the setting. That's why the sweet spot is important. And just here, the kick alone, it just adds density and weight to it, right? And snap as well. And of course, you still have the controls for the THD, so you have okay, you can hear there's kind of this extra layer of brightness, saturation, I want to say, tuned on the high mids and highs, so the higher portion of the sound. But it's never harsh, it's never too much, it's never piercing, even in saturation mode. One of my favorite uses for the 1178 6 is, of course, bass, so we're gonna quickly try it on that as well. Once again, I love how forgiving this unit is. I am attack all the way fast, and it's not budging, it's keeping the bass in control. And this is one style of bass compression, like if you have something that is a little pokey and it's got a lot of transient, or you can do the other way. You can see right now I'm keeping the bass under the curve of compression the entire time. That's, of course, is dictated by the release. Or you can let the transient poke a little more, maybe higher ratio. And again, the sidechain here is everything, especially on bass. You want the compressor to react to the low end, or you want the compressor to react to the mid-range, right? In this case, I'm gonna start with the sidechain at 90. But you hear how consistent the low end right now is, right? And again, the Carnel transformers add this natural heft to the sound, perfect for bass. I absolutely love this thing. Saturation mode is also cool on bass if you want to try. Very, very cool. I love this thing. Let's try it on vocals, which is, again, another favorite of mine. And I'm actually going to do it on a vocal that is kind of mellow, which normally I wouldn't use on 1176 or 78 because of the extended attack range and the 2 ratio. Let's try that. I'm going to filter 150 and just make it react more to the top end and see how it goes.
Oh, what a beautiful Sunday. Want you to know you're the one that I love. Heard that it sounds like a cliche, but you're my one and only.
Beautiful.
Oh, what a beautiful Sunday. Want you to know you're the one that I love. Heard that it sounds like a cliche, but you're You're my one and only.
Right? We have the in-your-face style of compression that we expect for a fat style compressor like this, but it's kind of mellow and warm and more musical. It's not as snappy, it's not as reactive, okay? And it doesn't clamp down that much. Slower attack, slower ratio, and then you set the release where it kind of dances with the vocal, with the performance. I think for this, I would take the boost on the 2K away and just make it react more naturally, even a little bit to the low end.
Oh, what a beautiful Sunday. Want you to know you're the one that I love. Heard that it sounds like a cliche, but you're my one and only.
That's really, really cool, and you can hear how pretty obvious is depending on the material, the added weight, right? On this vocal, you can definitely hear how much more body it has just running through the units. It's really great. Last example for this is gonna be acoustic guitar, another one that, again, I do use the 76, 78 style, but this one gives me more sounds and more styles of compression for that. Again, incredibly musical. Like every time I move a parameter, it's not even this doesn't sound right, it's just a different flavor. We can use it with all the way fast attack. Right? If you want a more like pop guitars, maybe in the background, if you want more transient and the guitar cutting through. That is crazy how forgiving this compressor is. It's borderline impossible to make it sound bad. That's how forgiving it is, especially at a lower ratio. So you have all that you like about the 76, 78 style, the all button mode, the craziness, the snap on the drums, the super fast release, the super fast attack, but then you have this whole different array and range of applications for acoustic guitars, for ballad vocals, for even two-bus and mixes, and it's crazy. And I love the box tone. The Cardinal Transformer sounds amazing on this. The THD, it's a proven secret sauce on basically all the West Audio units, and I think West Audio did it again. Not that anybody had any doubt, because everything and anything they put out has been amazing, and everything is here in use literally every day on every mix. This has Mix Best TV for David on the plugin interface. So thank you guys so much. I love that so much. It makes me so happy. And I think this is it for this video. This was the new West Audio Ng78, 2 channels of 76, 78 style fat compressor, 100% analog signal path, digitally controlled. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you have questions, again, leave them in the comment down below. I'll do my best to answer all of you. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Stay safe. See you next time.